Following up on a story we told you about Friday, this is a former judge facing charges in a drive-by shooting. The attorney representing him claimed Attorney General Gentner Drummond agreed to defer prosecuting the former judge and not go to trial.
In an interview we brought you, Drummond told us that isn't true, that there is no agreement in place. Now the former judge's attorney says that interview raised more red flags for him. News 4's Spencer Humphrey is here to sort it all out. Spencer, what's going on here?
Well, this is a lot, so I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. A lot of moving parts to this. Basically, it's all a case of he said, he said.
I hold Mr. Jones in highest regard. We did have a discussion on what path could we go forward.
That was Attorney General Gentner Drummond in an interview we aired Friday, saying he never formally agreed to hold off on prosecuting Attorney Stephen Jones's somewhat high-profile client.
We did not reach an agreement.
We told you a grand jury indicted Jones's client, former Garfield County Judge Brian Lovell, for allegedly shooting at his brother-in-law's house from his car back in 2023. The Attorney General's office is prosecuting the case. Lovell resigned from the bench last fall, citing a cancer and dementia diagnosis. Jones says the state's chief medical officer examined Lovell and backed up that diagnosis. Speaking with us on Monday, Jones argued Lovell's dementia is proof he wasn't of sound mind when the shooting happened and doesn't deserve to face trial.
He fits all of the symptoms. His conduct is consistent with that disease.
Initially, he says the AG's prosecution team wanted to have another doctor they chose examine Lovell to have a second opinion. Then in April, Jones claims Attorney General Drummond called him and said he was ready to work out an agreement.
He brought up the deferred prosecution agreement and asked whether I would accept that and whether my client would accept it. And I told him that my client would accept it and that I accepted it.
He says they worked out the specifics during another call in June when Jones claims Drummond promised he'd go ahead and send over a formal agreement and that he no longer wanted a second medical opinion. But Jones says Drummond's office never sent the agreement and instead claimed they were waiting for a second opinion before moving forward. That is what Drummond told us back when we shot that interview with him on July 9th.
The status of the case right now is he's providing my office with the neurological and psychological reports of the attending physicians that will either bring light to the fact that the judge has a mental disability or not.
Jones says Drummond called him on July 2nd, explaining he changed his mind on a second opinion because he needed more cover from potential political blowback he could get for letting someone of Lovell's status avoid going to trial.
He needed a peg. In other words, something to hang your hat on. He didn't say his hat, but he said he needed a peg. I understand the politics of that.
He says they both agreed to not talk about it publicly for the next 30 days. So Jones says he was surprised to learn Drummond talked to us about it on camera just 7 days later.
Because I took the Attorney General at his word.
In a press release Monday, Jones accused Drummond of orchestrating the interview strategically, writing in part, on Friday, Drummond arranged for an interview with a single reporter from a single television station, which he knew from experience would appear on the air at 6 p.m. on a Friday evening in the middle of the summer when attention to television news is at the lowest level of the year. However, Drummond did not request the interview. We asked Drummond about the Lovell case on July 9th while we happened to have him for an interview on a different topic for another story. We'd been reaching out to Jones since before we talked to Drummond, but didn't hear back from Jones until Friday when he told us he had no comment. So we aired the story with Drummond's comments at 10 p.m. that night, not 6 p.m. Beyond taking Jones at his word, we can't independently verify anything he claims Drummond promised him over the phone. Jones says he has transcripts of the calls, but doesn't want to release them right now.
But I am relying on the general to honor his word. I am still his supporter, and I am still his friend, and I'm still his ally.
And today we asked Drummond's office if he has anything more he wants to share in response to all of Jones's claims. A spokesperson told us Drummond does not. As for Jones, he says he's filed a motion in court requesting the judge in the case once and for all decide whether or not a formal agreement exists.